the troll media out here really need to stop the cap. Y'all making light of a situation that it's a serious thing, bro. Y'all really making yourselves look bad by doing this as well. We going live from the underground. Welcome back to Live from the Underground. I'm Topaz Yates. I'm here to speak to you about particular topics, and we usually do this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Thursday, maybe Friday, depending on what goes down. But today, the particular topic would be looking at Soulja Boy and others like DJ Academics and the quote-unquote coverage of what's going on with I'm sorry, but it still chokes me up a little bit. But young Dolph and the whole situation of him being gunned down in broad daylight by some morons. You feel me? Like, the way that these individuals have been kind of reporting on it, you dig? It's been, how can we say this? It has been reported on like it's like, oh, this was beef. Soulja Boy put the hit out on him, and this like they're using it to get clicks, ads, trying to get money. You feel me? And that's not cool. Nothing about this whole situation is funny or cool or something that should be massively promoted or something like that, so you can build up your hype and build up hype and things of that nature. Like, a man has died. A man with what? He had 2 children with the girlfriend that he was with now. A man who has done a lot for the music industry, for as we see it to this point. Like him or hate him, like his music or not, young Dolph, his name rings out for a reason. The joint's still going viral, and you still hear about this news and all this stuff for a reason. It's because young Dolph did put in work. Young Dolph was a man of his word, a man who did what he said he was going to do. So, the way that, dudes like Soulja Boy is trying to make super light of the situation, even though before it all happened, he was trying to put on, like, he was like, oh, I'm gonna put 100 on your head, and he had money, and he put it on his actual head to symbolize it and all that stuff, dude. Like, Soulja Boy ain't calling no shots. Soulja Boy ain't doing nothing like that, you feel me? Soulja Boy is nothing more than a troll who uses everything in his advantage in order to continue to boost his name. But this is real life ramifications, dude. This is like, Soulja Boy, you ain't about to get nobody murdered out here, dude. And that's maybe it's a good thing that you're not, but you trying to be the troll to use it, like, that's really some whole shit, dude, as Trouble would say. As Trouble did say. Like, this is promotion for you, but for those who are actually out there in his city, in Memphis, people are actually getting gunned down. Shootings are happening left and right behind this. There's nothing cool about that. Like, retaliation is happening on this, like, now. On top of the police has pretty much have found what's going on. Honestly, a lot of people on the internet are saying who this person was. I'm not going to say his name or nothing, but I mean, a lot of things kind of do line up when you begin to look at it. Like, they found the hat. Like, they found an individual on social media who in that city who has issues, who has had issues before in the past with young Dolph, who has mentioned young Dolph before on social media. He happened to have that same exact, like that Bass hat. Well, I mean, a lot of people have that hat, but who actually rocks one of those in our community? That's a question. But they found an individual who has that, who happens to have a white Benz, who also on social media posts has an AK-47 that he was flaunting and flossing. Now, that's a lot of damning evidence to try to see if this is the individual who did it. I'm not saying that he did it or not. I'm not making any statements on such a thing. I'm just saying they found it. They found the car. There was a shooting around the car. They towed the car. I don't know if this individual was the one who got killed around this car. I have no idea the exact nature of everything because I'm not the police. I'm not in that city. I don't know exact, like social media and all of this. It only goes but so far. But there's a lot of real stuff that's going on. What up, Diplomat? What's good, fam? But there's a lot of real stuff that's going on around this shooting that's happening in the streets that should not be reported like this. Individuals like the Shade Room are trying to push it like it's the whole East Coast, West Coast beef from back in the day that ended up having Tupac and Biggie die. Like, people are trying to use this as means of clickbait, as means to get views, as a means to rile people up in order to continue to make money off of it. But there's actual real life ramifications that's going on here, man. There's nothing cool about an individual dying and leaving behind 2 young children, and a mother is in interviews and having statements saying that she fears for their lives. There's nothing cool about that, man. And then you see there's articles and stuff out here where they saying, so quote unquote, Soulja Boy warns rapper Triple he could be next following the young Dolph. Now that, I didn't see anything specific that Soulja Boy said. Like, I could be wrong, but that is not how you promote an article like the Hip Hop DX. You feel me? Like, that article headline alone can come back on somebody. You dig? Like, that could start up some kind of beef right there alone. I don't know what Soulja Boy specifically said, because in the article, it had nothing to do with Soulja Boy warning people. You feel me? Like, you can tell it was more of something that they put out there in order to instigate something so that they can get views and clicks and things of that nature. And my thing is, like I said on my video that got took down by YouTube, by the way, but on my video, I said I was never a huge Young Dolph fan. You feel me? Never was from the beginning. Why? Because I never felt his music was amazing. And I mean, now is not the right time for me to go into specifics on why I felt that way. But I'm not going to be here trying to pretend like, oh man, Young Dolph, he was the man. He was so influential to me because of what he did before in the past. He was the man. No, I'm not going to go that far. I'm just going to give you the facts of what I see that's going on. But yet, there's been a huge selection of people who have no idea who Young Dolph was, who never really listened to Young Dolph's music, who want to come out on some, oh, I love me some Young Dolph. Young Dolph was the realest, man. But they couldn't name a single song. They give you statements like, oh, Young Dolph was a young up-and-coming rapper. He wasn't a young up-and-coming rapper. He been on in the game. He been put out big hits. His career as a whole, you feel me, it kind of ran its course. He was still pushing. He was still trying to be the man. He was still doing his thing, but people who are not within the culture, who do not know what's going on, who don't know who Young Dolph is, want to comment and try to make it into something that it's not. Why? Because Young Dolph is all that people in the hip-hop circles and all that is talking about. Like, honestly, I didn't want to touch on Young Dolph again today. Let's be real. I sincerely didn't want to touch on Young Dolph again today, but how could you not? This is all that people were talking about. This is all that people want to hear about. This is all that's going on out here in the game. And it's sad. People are taking it and they're flipping it so that they can try to build up something, so they can get a little notoriety, so they can get some ad clicks, so that they can go ahead and get a little bit of money. A lot of people are taking it and spinning it off so that they can do something or they can touch on it when they didn't even know who Young Dolph was, didn't even know his music, didn't know all the issues. All they knew was, okay, Young Dolph died, and this individual did have beef with a black youngster. He did have a bunch of beefs in his city. He did get shot at 100 times and made an album about it. That's like that's the limit to which people know about Young Dolph. Didn't know about the stories in which what happened. Like, there was some kids who was working at like one of them restaurant, not a restaurant, but they was working at like food service spot, maybe a Starbucks, not exactly sure, but they was working there and they decided they wanted to play Young Dolph, and when they did that, they got fired. Young Dolph, after hearing this story, flew them out to his show, gave them front row, backstage passes, all that stuff, $20,000, and then performed, get paid after that, man. Like, it's that kind of positive things that Young Dolph did, as he used it all for all what he needed to do as well. Like, man, I mean, Young Dolph did his thing, fam. I am not mad at him for a lot of things that he did, which was positive. But these are some of the stories that these individuals who want to come around the underground, who want to come around hip hop and talk about how bad everybody is messing up and all that stuff. These are the things that you don't even know about Young Dolph, but you're trying to make it seem like you know so much more about Young Dolph. And I don't know a ton about Young Dolph because, again, I didn't follow him. But yet, I follow music. So I've heard of a bunch of these stories. I've been around a bunch of these stories for much longer than a lot of these people who's making all of these comments for him. You feel me? So it really messes me up, man. Like, honestly, the thing that I kind of wanted to touch on instead of Young Dolph today was the parade that somebody drove through and ended up killing like 5 people. What people don't realize is the person who did that was a rapper named Math Boy Fly. And they're trying to make that out to being a lot more like they are mad about that. Oh, people are really mad about that one. But my thing is, can we even call these people who got hit by the car victims? Can we? I mean, it happened in Wisconsin, didn't it? If they couldn't call the people who got murdered at the rally, the white supremacists shot up and killed, if they weren't victims, can these people be victims? Now, that's what I wanted to weigh in on, to be real. But really can't, because this is what's being super hyped up and promoted by individuals like academics who's doing the full-fledged like coverage, I guess, where he was the one who posted how the police took the Benz that was allegedly was at the young Dolph motor. They found it in Orange Mound in South Memphis. But yet, when that happened, well, they found the Benz after, because witnesses saw a screaming woman running towards the house and a black sedan speeding off. And somebody was pronounced dead at the scene. Now, who was it? I don't know. Was it the guy who had the Bass Pro Shop joint, or was it the other assailant? Who knows? Either way, the streets is getting the revenge, because as I said in the Young Dolph video, like, yo, the reason why there wasn't like no immediate retaliation, because a lot of people got love for Dolph, was because it seemed like the people didn't know who it was. Now the people knew who it is. Now people, like, when all the images and things of that nature came out, and you can see details on these people because they did it in broad daylight with cameras, like bruh, people see what cars you ride around in. If you rock something consistently, people will apply that to you. Like, there was a story that I'm not going to give no details on, but a story back in my hometown, there was a car that went around and did a drive-by on these people. It was kind of out the blue. And the car was actually used by somebody that wasn't really his car. But that car, from that point on, had a hit out on it. If that car was ever seen anywhere near the hood, everybody knew what it was, and they were going to let go on it immediately. Like, you can't do dirt in things that you are actively driving around, and people remember these things, dude. Like, people will remember that you put a hit out on their lives. They will remember the make, the model. They will remember what clothes these individuals had. I mean, it made it easier because they did it like some idiots, broad daylight, and got cameras, and got pictures of them in the normal attire that they wear. Like, bruh, come on. But like DJ academics want to be like, oh, I feel so bad about, well, he didn't say that precisely, but like, he instigates this type of stuff, and then he want to come out and be like, oh, this is messed up. Like, bruh, you instigated it. Stop with the cap. Same thing could go with the Breakfast Club, where they had Soulja Boy on there, where they were pushing for, they were trying to get the hashtags, trying to get the hype around this so that they can get the views and all that stuff. So they try to ask questions to instigate whatever beefs that he does have, or whatever whack statements he's going to make that's going to infuriate people on the streets. You feel me? Like, that's not cool. But this is what your media services actually do. Anything for $1, anything to go ahead and get some notoriety, anything that we can push out there, regardless of how negative this can be affected, who all negatively can be affected by this, instead of just promoting whatever album Soulja Boy got coming out because he got whatever album he's doing now that's probably going to be trash. That's what he's promoting. Instead of just promoting the album, having a good time, having a good conversation, you want to try to spark some type of beef so that you can get clicks. And then because it's not going to be when the fallout, and because the potential fallout isn't going to be straight up people going straight into your where you're recording studios, or you got security around and all of this stuff, because you're safe. You feel as though you just got the ability to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about, as if these things will not affect full families. These things won't affect a full population that you are constantly egging on. Like this stuff, can we just get back to the entertainment of it? Why must this stuff, this beef, and all of this stuff be the focal point of what everybody is talking about, because you all trying to get some hype, some clicks, and all that stuff? Like, there's so much good music that's still being dropped. But the only thing y'all want to talk about, the only thing y'all want to hear about is more about young Dolph. And the motorists that's out here that's going to go down one way or the other. Like, the number has already been pulled for this one. Either, like, they can't stay in that city. And by the time they gonna have to try to hide and get away from the police on top of it, but they probably gonna find them too. Like, it's not a good ending here for anybody involved. But this is the thing that everybody wants to hype up and talk about. Like, I mean, why must it be human nature? You feel me? Why is it human nature to care more about the dramas and the beef than to actually look at people who's trying to do their thing, who's trying to do something positive, who's actually making ways with their music, who's actually doing something smart, technological that people can learn off of, that everyone can eat from? Why is it people want to give more and focus more on the negative aspirations of people, the ignorance that people have, because you want to just murder somebody? You want to murder somebody of notoriety so that you can get whatever it is that you were thinking you were going to get. Regardless, could have been just a jealous individual. I still don't know the exact details on why. Was it because this was retaliation? Was it beef? Was this just a hater who wanted to try to come up, or somebody who just couldn't stand it no more? I don't know. All that news may possibly come out later, man. At the end of the day, whatever comes his way, whoever did this, both of these individuals, whoever plotted and planned it, yes, I hope, just like Samuel L. Jackson, yes, you deserve to die. I hope you burn in hell. You feel me? Like, it is what it is. While the rest of the industry and everybody out here, I'm not saying we move on. We need to really continue to look back at the life of young Dolph, give him the props that he deserved while he was alive. Recognize young Dolph was somebody in the game who actually deserved the respect. He deserved more than getting murdered in the streets while he was coming out of a cookie spot. Now, Dolph was heavy in them streets, bro. And that's one of these things that you gotta, I guess, the one thing that a lot of people was talking about, man, with Boosie saying that most rappers get murdered in their hometown, in they hood. And it rings true again, like it happened with Nipsey Hussle. Happened with what's his name? XXX Tentacion. It happened with it didn't happen with Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke was in LA, right? It happened with Shorty Low, right? It happened with, like, you name a lot of them, man. Most people get murdered. Most rappers who come up out the streets get murdered within their own communities that they be living in, which is why, you know, most rappers, they get up out the hood, man. You get money, you get up out that. You get up out the way because there's too many people from your past that wish they were you, who could have rolled with you, but they decided not to. They decided to go in their own direction, and their direction didn't pan out for them. And because you did it, like, oh, I can't stand this individual. It's really tough. It's as an individual, man, who comes up out of nothing. I'm always to the forefront saying that you guys do need to give back to your community. You do need to help the people around you. You do need to continue to push things forward, help bring some people up out of it. Much like how Master P did. Master P, like, once he got his money, got paid, he got up out of there and all of that stuff. But yet, he went back and when they tore down the projects, he built up, like, his own housing within that area and gave it back to the people for the low, man, so that people could actually live better than they was living in the projects and actually live well, man. That's something that Master P did. Why he is still open and welcome to go out there, dude, just based off of a lot of things all of the positive things that he's done for that community, you feel me? People love P out there in Louisiana. But at the end of the day, I would say you still got to move up out the way, though, like P did. Like, you can always show love, do things for the people, but there's always going to be somebody there. So therefore, you can't just live there. And individuals like Soulja Boy, man, who likes to troll, who tries to troll to promote himself. He'll use any and everything in his power to do so. He'll pretend like he's putting hits on people. Like, bro, what you did on your stream, that's called murder for hire. Now, because you're trolling, does that mean that these people are not going to apply that to you? Probably not. Because, like, everything that's happening in that city is clearly becoming things that's within that city. It had nothing to do with Soulja Boy and his recklessness. But that could be used against you, Soulja, in the court of law. When it comes time for them to take back all of the money that they gave you, because the opportunities that they gave you from the beginning, you did. When these people decide they do not want you to have this money no more, as they usually do for black artists who actually end up having a lot, like Michael Jackson, to you name them. Like, you not leaving everything clean. You're not getting out the game with all your masters, with all your money, with all this, like, even though he's not even all that super successful or nothing like that to that degree. He got money, he's notable, he's independent, he's doing his thing. But all of this stuff is just ammunition for when they decide they're going to take it all back off of you. And you being reckless and trolling and doing things like this, nobody's gonna feel bad for you when your time comes up. And please believe me, your time is about to come up, bro. But that's all I wanted to say on this, man. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have something else to talk about, man. It's a sad situation. I'm hoping, you know, as a whole, as a people, we will do better in the future. And we need to stop letting these trolls and all this stuff, man, try to dictate and give information on everything that's going on, because they're all just doing clickbait. They don't even really care about the families and the death and the mayhem that's happening in Memphis at this point because of all of this. You feel me? But I appreciate everybody who tuned in, man. I'm probably going to come right back with some Street Fighter action in maybe like 20 minutes or so. But thank you, you guys. You guys have a nice night.